Hi, this is Guy with Cow on Head again, and in this shirt again. It seems like I'm wearing this shirt a lot in reviews. I'm not sure why that's what happens to be how things best work out. Yeah, weird. Of course, there's some shirts I want to wear over others, but it all depends on what goes on in my life and when I have time to film new videos. Anyways, today we are reviewing Moonlight episode. Sorry, not Moonlight episode burp. The Moonlight episode 12:04 a.m. Yes, it's 12:04 a.m. Maybe. I don't know when you're watching this. Actually, for me, it's closer to 5 in the afternoon. Don't worry, the clock's already gone off, but you might hear it again. Anyways, what happens in this episode of Moonlight? And I believe it's the 8th episode if I'm counting right. It's hard to remember and keep track of. And if it's not, it'll say something different in the title for this. Anyways, there's a man named Shepard. That's what he's called by. And he's one of those killers who has a cult of followers. Which is horrible. But actually does happen, which is weird. Anyways, Shepard was caught, and he's about to be executed. And when he's executed, he's just like seeking revenge, and his last words are like, "You will be screaming my name," and his cult of followers is there. There's also a woman named Audrey, and she is there at the sorry, I don't know what's up with my eyes. She was there at the execution. She would have been a victim, but for some reason wasn't. And it makes little to no sense story-wise, because she witnesses him killing a bunch of people. He sees her hiding in the closet, says, I forget, I think it's like, "Hello, sweetheart, I see you." And that's it. Apparently letting her live, from what we understand, not even trying to kill her or incapacitate her, maybe just hoping she's too traumatized, or I don't know what's up with that. But she's already afraid even after he's executed, especially when she gets a call from a guy saying what he said to her when he saw her hiding in the closet. And so this makes her think maybe he's not dead, even though he should be. Now Mick is of course there to investigate, and Beth is protecting Audrey as well. And they do find a person who looks like Shepard, and they also learn of a movie being made about him by a guy named Jerry Drake, I believe. Meanwhile, Nick seems to be investigating more of the case as the district attorney who put Shepard away is found dead in the morgue where Shepard's body is supposed to be, thus seeming to support the theory that Shepard might be alive. And basically, clues that he's alive is that he didn't eat his last meal, and he was visited by a priest shortly before the execution. And Mick is able to find the priest, and he goes there under the pretense of going to confession, and is able to get some information out of the priest, which I don't think violates any privileges or whatever, because I'm not sure the person was ever covered, nor am I even sure it was, if this guy's a real priest, but maybe it would be. But do you think a vampire could be a priest if vampires were actually real? It's hard to tell or know. The point is, Audrey, first she got the phone call from the person who seemed to be Shepard trying to hunt after her, and then she's showering when she sees the writing that says "Scream My Name," and I think that's what leads to the look-alike being caught. And when you're watching the scene of her in the shower before the writing appears, you're sort of like, I'm thinking, just once, can't it be a poor, helpless, defenseless, naked man in a shower, instead of the woman, as it always tends to be? Of course, apparently, and I just saw a clip from it yesterday, I think in maybe one of the Scream movies, that, whatever character Jamie Lee Curtis played, she was able to subdue someone who was running to reenact the Psycho film on a... Yeah, I don't know what film that is, I just learned about it. Anyways, though, I don't think that sexually degrading men is the right way to handle gender equality. And others would probably agree with me, such as the woman who did the... I forget if it was a film or a short or whatever called Killing Us Softly, but that's probably a topic for a different video. Maybe a more serious video. Well, an actual serious video. Although none of my videos are really silly. All I got is the cow on my head, because that's my stick, and I'm not really trying to be funny in some places, but maybe I am. Back to the episode. I forget what role Joseph had in it. He was definitely there doing something, but I don't think he had much importance to the case. Beth talks to Audrey about some of her previous kidnapping by Coraline, and then by looking into the case, she realizes it was Mick who had rescued her, and they talk about it towards the end of the episode. Now back to the director making the movie about Shepard. As other people in the case, which that Shepard was arrested for and executed, well, supposed to be executed for, they keep winding up dead. And the director sees Shepard alive, who's now a vampire officially. And now that he's alive, reveals himself. They learn more about Shepard doesn't really like this director or want this movie made, or at least not the way the director wants it. Perhaps feeling that he was being used or something. There's the clock. Anyways, Shepard kills the director. I think Mick arrives there sometime, and the two vampires fight for a while, but Shepard gets away. And what else is there? Basically, Nick is worried about hiding Audrey at his place because of all the vampire stuff around that he thinks she might be suspicious of. So he goes there, but then if she goes there anyways, I don't think she gets too much stuff. I'm too confused or whatever. Shepard does arrive there. Mick fights with him as the two women try to get away to an elevator, but that's when Mick is able to kill Shepard by cutting his head off. Off with his head! Yeah. And I think I got through everything, so I'm just gonna check the notes and make sure I did get everything right. Basically, I think the only key detail I had left out was that at some point Mick was pretending to be the cop since they needed the extra security there, and that's how he got into the prison and got the footage of Shepard, where I found out that the vampire the priest vampire had killed, or had turned Shepard into a vampire. And at one point when Shepard had talked to Beth, she realized that he is a vampire, and he wanted her to cower in fear, but she was too brave for that. And now that and Beth was never concerned about her kidnapper coming back because, I guess she just wasn't, and, even though she was never caught, but we'll reveal more about the quarreling stuff later, I believe. I don't know what all I should be saying or potentially spoiling. But now Beth knows that it was in fact Mick, this same Mick, that saved her as a child. And I don't think there's much else to say about this. I don't know where Joseph was this whole episode. If he had any appearance, major or minor, I forgot to write it in the notes I took. And, well, that's really it for this episode. I will let you go now. For this review, I mean. Well, I guess this is sort of an episode, but I don't really do these in any order or whatever. Oh well. I am signing off now. Get it? Yeah, you'd have to know sign language to get that joke. At least a bit of it. Anyways, that is all again. For real, I hope. Yeah, I don't know why he keeps saying I must end and then continue going. I'm just gonna stop now before this goes on too long.